Welcome to my fourth video from my monthly huge haul. I don't live near a comic book shop, so when I get out, I try to go at the end of the month. This is actually technically from the March, but March was madness here. Everybody comes to the beach during March because that's spring break. Now, our beach is safe during spring break for colleges because we're not a college spring break place. But there's still a little bit more of an uptick because families do bring their college kids here occasionally. But we're just not a college town. We're not what college kids going, like Fort Lauderdale. We're not that kind of place. Myrtle Beach is, and that's where one of my favorite comic book shops is. Probably my favorite. It's called Player's Choice. Now, they used to be here in, well, not here. Charlotte is the town that we go to. It's 10 miles away. They used to be here. They moved down there. I can't remember when. And it's a pretty good trek to go down North Myrtle Beach. And plus, during biker week and all those weeks like that, you don't want to go there. You just don't. And during spring break, there's more college kids there. I don't want to go there. It's just too busy. At the end of March was, of course, Easter. Okay, so I don't want to go anywhere near on Easter or the week before because it's going to be a lot of busyness. I just couldn't wait any longer, though. Usually the week afterwards is not as bad as the week before Easter. And then usually we have a gap between college breaks and non-college breaks, high school breaks, I guess. And there was no gap this year. So I didn't get a chance. I was like, okay, I want to go spend my money now. So there will be another, hopefully, unless the Lord comes back in the rapture. Well, he'll come back for us, but you won't see him if you didn't go. So anyway, oh my gosh, please stop sending me notifications. Sorry, my phone has these notifications. It keeps on coming in. All right, this is the Justice League Elite. And this is the last group of comic books. So like you're thinking, oh my gosh, he's going to have like 50 videos made of this. No. I try to break it down to like 10-minute chunks. I try to do a live, but it was not working for me. I'd never read the Justice League Elite, but it's not that big of a, like there's only a dozen issues. Wow, it's getting super windy out here. All right, after this, I'm going to have to wrap it up. I don't know, again, she's like the only person I don't recognize. Well, out of this group I don't recognize, but a lot of them. But I know that normally she's the kind of the consistent character, and I don't know anything about it. But hey, I got number one. This is the comic books that I loved back in the 90s. I loved reading Justice League Europe, Justice League International, Justice League America. They were hilarious. They were so funny. So I'm trying to get all of them. I only got a handful of issues I need. Stormwatch was another one of those Image comic books. Now, back in the 90s, if you were around in the 90s, you remember that Image was going to stick it to the man. They were going to make their own comic book and put DC and Marvel out of business because they're a bunch of greedy people. Well, they did shake up the whole industry, which was a good thing. But their comic books, after reading a few of them, I felt like, well, I'm reading the same comic book over and over again. That's what I felt like. And it's a beautiful art piece, but there's not much meat on them, which was kind of like what modern comic books are to me. Great, beautiful, pretty art generated by computers, unfortunately. But unfortunately, a lot of it's just not a lot of meat on it. And it's not like I want to read a book with a few pictures here and there. I like a balance. And maybe it's just my time period I grew up in. You know, why'd you buy it? Because I definitely want to go back and read these. I had a lot of these back then. I thought for sure these were going to make me rich by collecting these stick it to the man comics. And one day these will be worth $1 million. No, they're in the dollar bins now. My favorite one is Wildcats. I stuck with them. I had the first few Stormwatches and Youngbloods. I said YouTubes. Youngbloods. Also, I remember back in the early 90s that, or mid 90s, or whenever they announced JLA, I remember my neighbor Craig talked about it. And I thought, he's actually interested in comic books. He is not normally into comic books. So, look at that art. I like that artwork on there. But this is, again, I think I've talked about this several times ad nauseum, that I think JLA was trying to bring back that the Super 7, the core elite. Like Justice League Europe was just shaking things down, and this is trying to build them back up. And I like both of them for different reasons. Everything I've read of Justice League America or JLA, it's been good. So if you read these during that time, let me know. I think 123 might be toward the very end, yeah. And why did they start the JLA? I can't remember. I read an issue one so long ago. Now, this is also interesting. These guys right here appear quite a lot. I don't know if they are, it's tomorrow's league today. So that's a play on words. I'm thinking these are the people, maybe Tio Morrow, the guy who created the Red Tornado. Maybe he built them. I was thinking they'd be like the Manhunters that were at the, what are they called? The guys on IO created before the Green Lanterns. And then I thought, oh, maybe they're the same people as Our Man. I don't know. I'll find out, definitely. All right. When the Impact Winter Special. Oh, I love the Mighty Crusaders. It's just, it's such an interesting team, especially the original one. Look at that. McKay's used books for 25 cents. Here I am overpaying. By the way, these were these were $1 each, all bagged. But if you buy like a dozen, they're $10. So like 88 cents or something. All right, Justice League Quarterly. I do remember these back at Walmart. They actually had them on displays at Walmart. And you got a lot of comic books back at Walmart back in the day. Do they sell comic books at all now? Oh yeah, they do, but they're in bags. They're not like this. I guess they were tired of people reading them in the stores. I remember the Green Lantern Quarterly I was really wanting to get. And I'd see those all the time at Walmart. They're so dang expensive. Look at that, $3.50. Are you crazy? I mean, you only get $5 a week allowance. Actually, then I was working and skateboarding, but I remember that. I just didn't have the time or money. All right, Justice League of America. This is one of the shortest run Justice League of America series I've ever seen. But I'm interested. This is the Superboy I never wanted, never read, but I'm like, I might as well collect all Superboy comics. This came after the good 80s series, which was a lot of fun, and the hilariously funny 90s series, you know, the Superboy clone, Connell. This is based on the awful TV show. I've tried watching it so many times. It's so awful. I have it on DVD and it's like, oh God, it's just terrible. So, I don't expect much out of this comic, to be honest with you. Oh, you said you hate only new comic books. No, I didn't. There's a lot of old comic books. I hate a lot of things. All right, here's a Justice League of America that was also, well, I think this ended with the New 52 because it's the 2010, I think, darkest night, lightest day, whatever. I think it pretty much wiped it out. Oh, here's a Talos, and I think somebody just responded on my Instagram. I took a picture of every one of these and put on my Instagrams. Well, I haven't put them all in there yet. But one of my friends on there said this is a Gil Kane cover, and he was talking about how fantastic it was. I was like, really? And there we got it. Gil Kane. G looks like a 6. K. I was just like, man, the art's good on it. It's a one and done comic. Oh, derpy. He's right there, Gil Kane. Oh my gosh. I think he said something like you could tell it's a Gil Kane cover. I don't know. I know it's a one and done issue. It's interesting looking. It looks like amethyst mixed with Conan. I mean, is that amethyst back there? I don't know. But that's a one and done, so it's a good little read. And it's even this windy today. It might be a good day to sit out here and read. Although at 2 o'clock, this is Saturday, April the 13th, when I'm making this video. At 2 o'clock, though, Cover Slingers is on. I want to see it. It's always entertaining. All right, JLA Incarnations. From what I gather from looking at the covers on these, it feels like they're going through all the different JLAs up till the year 2001, I'm guessing. So like the original Justice League, like the formation, I think that was on cover 1. This looks like it's the Justice League with him in there, Europe, like this is the Europe branch. Now, speaking of artists like Gil Kane, this is Joe Staton. I know Joe Staton because when I was a kid, I read E-Man. I loved E-Man. I don't know exactly what was his powers other than the fact that he can become anything. It kind of like reminded me of Metal Man. He can just become anything he wanted to be. You know, E equals MC square. And even if I didn't see that right there, Staton, that right there looks so much like E-Man. I can't get any closer because of the tripod. That looks so much like Staton's art right there. It looks like E-Man, sort of. And plus, this era Green Lantern, I've got to read it. I definitely, I should have really, I wish if I can go back in time, Well, there's a lot of things I'd do if I go back in time, but I would definitely want to read all of this era because everything I've read of this era is so much fun. It's a lot of fun. I think I started reading like 51, not like a few years ago. When they changed hands to the Kyle Rayner, I started reading the Kyle Rayner run, and it was really good. Not as funny. It was pretty sad stuff going on in that. But I love Nort. He's my favorite. He's one of my favorite Green Lanterns. He's just hilarious. He reminds me of that dog in what's that Star Wars spoof? Spaceballs. He reminds me of the dog in Spaceballs. He might be like a lot of things in comic books are based on popular media and pop culture. I mean, let's be honest. Ace from Spider-Man, it's Prince and Michael Jackson mixed together. This is number 1. I couldn't find the other issues, but if I like number 1, maybe I could pursue the other issues of Hero. It looks like it should say guitar at the top, doesn't it? Warriors of the Mystic Realm. So Guitar Hero number 1 out of 6 issues. And what I've read of Our Man is a lot of fun. So I definitely want to get more. This one's an incredibly awesome cover, and I'm sure the contents are going to be just as amazing. This ran in tandem with the JSA because he crossed over with the JSA, at least the ones I've read. Or he was actually in the JSA. So that's why I want to read this, because it's like you know, when you read Justice League, you also read sometimes Superman, Wonder Woman, which I rarely ever read Wonder Woman. I did when I was younger, when the TV show was out. In the 80s, I didn't read much Wonder Woman, but I read more Superman. All right, well, hey, that's the last issue. Let me know which is your favorite. Which one have you read in all of these? Is this going to be worth my pursuit? Did you love Nord as much as I did? Let me know in the comments below. Talk to me. I want to hear from you. Thank you, America, for listening. I feel like a DJ host, a radio host. All right, have a fantastic day.